Hey everyone, this is actually kind of a preview of a product that has not even hit the shelves yet. So this is for the Skyplug made by SKYX platforms, and I want to highlight a few things. Number one, it has ANSI and NEMA certification. The whole purpose of this Skyplug is safety first, and I think it's important to note it has the backing of the Architects Association. It also has the backing of the American Lighting Association. This is also a potential ESG play. Why? Because you have multiple products that are plugged into different outlets that can be reduced down to one power source. So this is a very interesting product. I think it is brilliant in its design and what it will provide the end user. SKYX is a symbol and a stock you're going to want to pay very close attention to. Hey, what's happening, everybody? A little different here. I just got done spending 5 days with SKYX at CES, and I'm going to write up a whole thing on that. But I thought this was pretty ironic. I had a friend of mine send me a text literally a day ago saying, boy, I wish your buddy Ronnie had his product out because this is my honeydew that I'm about to tackle. And he sent me a picture. And, you know, just looking at the picture, tell me that if you're not an electrician, that this isn't a little intimidating. Now imagine this being on a 20-foot high ceiling that you've got to get a ladder for, right? And this is what you're looking at. This is what you've got to attach or new light fixture to. So, let's just think about this for a second. If you were going to have a party, like a Super Bowl party, and you came across this really cool light fixture of your team that's going to be in the Super Bowl, and you're like, "Hey, honey, let's switch out our light fixture and put this cool light fixture in for our party." What do you think the odds of that happening are? How about slim to none? I mean, how many times have you switched out the light fixture that's in your ceiling because of a design change, or you come across this light that just really looks good and you want to put it in your ceiling? Nobody does that, right? As a matter of fact, I had the opportunity to speak to a light manufacturer, and the light manufacturer informed me that the average light fixture stays in place for a minimum of 10 years. Think about that. I mean, if you move and you have a light fixture that you really like in the ceiling, are you going to go up there, disconnect that light fixture and take it with you? Odds are not a chance in hell that happens, right? It stays right where it's at for the next person that owns the property. So with that in mind, let's just take a look at this whole scenario. So at CES, I will tell you this: the common word identified. It was so easy to identify. Even if I wasn't near anybody, just watching the demonstration from afar, I could see the word wow. Wow. It doesn't take a lot to be able to read somebody's lips when they're saying wow. And it was a very, very, very common word that was used. So here's what we got. You've got this canister that is attached to the junction box, which is up inside of the ceiling, right? You've got a metal junction box that's up inside of the ceiling. And it's not the green screw, it's actually the two flathead screws that you can see. You're going to back those out, right? Because really what this metal can is just whatever light fixture or ceiling fan was there before, that is what it attached to, right? So you're climbing up the ladder, and then after you get it wired, you push the wires up into that inside of that lip, right? It's probably what, a half inch or 3/4 inch lip. The wires in the wire nuts are pushed up into there, and then you take the cover, whatever light fixture you have or ceiling fan, and that goes up around the outside, and then you screw. You got probably 4 screw. You can see the threaded screw hole, right? You take and you screw in the cover for the light fixture or ceiling fan that you're putting up. Now, there's all kinds of different mounting brackets. This is one style. Depends on what comes with the light, right? So wouldn't it be cool though, right? Instead of having to mess with all these wires and everything, if when you came in and you saw something like this, right? Now, let me show you how this works. So imagine we take those 2 flathead screws, we back those out, you take that canister off, right? And then where those 2 flathead screws are, you can see they're in those slots. Well, you have slots in this as well, right? There's 2 slots. And you're going to take this and you're going to take those wires, number one. Now this has got 4 wire attachments. You've got your ground wire here, you got a hot wire here, you got a hot wire here, and that's red, black, and white. They're all marked, so you know exactly where the wires go, okay? You put the wires in, and then you take this and you push it up, and where those flathead screws were going in those slots, you put them in these slots right here, right? You can see red, black, white, green, right? And you're going to push this up, put the flathead screws in, and now this is what is going to be in the inside of that. There's going to be no wires exposed, right? And it's going to be attached to that J box. All right. Then you come along and you do this. You put this is the cover plate that goes right on top of what you just installed. Okay? Now, if you're buying a new home, at some point, I believe this is what you will see instead of something like that, where you've got wires exposed. So now, you can touch this, there's power to it, but there is no, you can't get harmed in any way, shape, or form, right? This is just up in the ceiling, flush. Now, imagine you've got a light fixture or a ceiling fan, and the component that is going to plug into this is the receptacle, and this is essentially the plug that you would like, just like on a wall outlet, you've got the receptacle just sitting there in a wall. And then on the end of your vacuum cleaner cord is the plug. Well, that's what this is. Now, there is, for the light fixtures, the units, there's actually a whole assembly that this is the primary function the unit that plugs in. But you've got on the end of the light fixture, you've got, and you'll see it in the write-up that I do, there's an assembly that's got ambient lighting, and it's got a button on the side of it. So literally, you walk up the ladder, and you take this button, you push the button, and what it does is it pushes this pin down. So you push that button, and boom, it's in, right? Now, this is not all the way in, but even if somebody accidentally didn't really secure it, it's got a 200-pound rating, okay? But what you want to do is you want to make sure, give it one more push. You hear that second click, and now you have it. I think this has got now a 400-pound rating, something like that, okay? And you're done. That is your installation of the light fixture. It literally takes 30 seconds. And when I say wow was the common word, that was indeed the common word. So when you look at this and you say, Really? This is this simple? You just push the button. There's no wires to touch. There's no circuit breakers to go turn off and make sure that you've got no power there. Inside of this assembly, there's this a very unique system. You see this? There's this flat metal, and that's what makes the connection, right? Uh, it is so simple to use this. It's unbelievable, right? So think about the fact that I don't know, been able to send people to space and to be able to walk the moon, and we have had the same assembly in the ceiling forever, right? This is there's so many benefits to this thing, and I'm not going to go into them all, but just for simple demonstration of how much simpler this is than what we're looking at right here, there was and I want to emphasize this point. So at a lot of these conventions or a lot of manufacturers, they hire these really good-looking ladies to just stand there and look pretty and hand out information on the company and so forth to draw people to the booth, right? There was a gal that was hired to work the booth, probably 90 pounds soaking wet, and literally by day 3, this girl was amazing. She just started doing these demos on her own, right? Nobody asked her to, but she loved this thing so much, and she kept telling me, I want this in my house, right? And she's literally pulling people over to demonstrate this product, and 90 pounds. She's changing out these chandeliers and these light fixtures like nobody's business. And I'm thinking to myself, why did she do that? Why did she go out of her way and go above and beyond to demonstrate a product when all she had to do was really stand there in the booth, wave to people, and hand out brochures and stuff like that? She did it because she absolutely loves the product, and it's so simple to use. Anybody can do it, right? Now, I asked my friend how long it took him to install that fixture, okay? And he told me, he said, well, look, taking into account getting the tools, getting the ladder, going out and turning off the circuit breakers, because he wasn't sure which circuit was for that light. So turning off, going back in, seeing if that's the one. He said literally it took an hour and a half all in. Now, that is why light fixtures don't get replaced. That is why, because it's a pain in the neck. Nobody wants to deal with it, right? Especially if you're not an electrician. I mean, it's a project that you really just don't feel like tackling. What changes with this? It's 30 seconds. You walk up the ladder. The longer you're on the ladder with exposed wires, the higher the odds that, and if you don't have the breaker turned off, that you get shocked, you fall off a 20-foot ladder, you're going to get hurt, right? And there are documented cases of that throughout the last 50 years of how many people have sustained an injury, miswired their fan, caused a house fire, and death, right? So when you think about that, and you think about the fact that this is what you have now, if you want to change out a light fixture, this is what the future is. Walk in and you've got this outlet, just like you have a wall outlet. And if you want to change out a light fixture for your Super Bowl party, it's not something that's going to give you anxiety. You're going to say, let's get the light and let's put it up for the Super Bowl party. It takes 30 seconds. So I want you to think about this. I want you to, take a look at how many new homes are built every year. And then ask yourself, how many ceiling receptacles would there be per home, right? and then start doing the math. Now, once you start figuring out the math on that, and you can be conservative. Say maybe is there one ceiling receptacle per house? Is there 4, 5? Right? Be conservative. Then ask yourself, well, that's residential. How many ceiling receptacles are in your average restaurant or your convention center or your banquet at a hotel? How many ceiling fixtures are there in a hotel? Just start doing the math. You're going to start seeing numbers that almost baffle the mind and make you question how many of these things actually get installed, or how many ceiling junction boxes get installed per year. And this is an item that has had the NEC, National Electric Code, adjusted 11 times for this specific product. The name for this by the NEC is a acronym. It's the WSCR. The last thing that was mandated as a product in your home, you have it in your bathroom, you have it in your kitchen, most likely, anywhere where there's a chance of running water. And that would be the GFCI, the ground fault circuit interrupter, right? So is it ironic that this has a WSCR, weight supporting ceiling receptacle? I don't think that is ironic. I think it is an indication that this will become the standard, the mandate for every single residential and commercial building from 2023 on. And it is rare that you come across something that is so blatantly obvious as a solution to an inefficient process for more than 50 years, right? So when you think about that, now this is one aspect of this product, just this alone. What is this worth? What does it save in time? Installation from an hour and a half to 30 seconds? What's the value of that? The safety component, not being on a ladder for, 20 or 30 or 40 minutes. There's just no comparison. There's nothing. Give me one reason as to why this shouldn't be mandated, why this shouldn't be the solution for every light fixture and ceiling fan in 2023 on. And then ask yourself if the stock price is fairly valued. Simple. Now, I'm going to do a whole write-up on what I experienced at CES, but I thought this was just the fact that I had my buddy send me this picture. And after what I saw at CES for, 5 days, I thought this really made sense to go ahead and put together a little video on exactly what it is we're looking at here and why this is such a game changer, such a revolutionary product that will indeed change an industry. And I believe that there will be companies that will actually sprout up from this. It's almost impossible to come up with a total addressable market for this product. I mean, and I mean that wholeheartedly. Now, I'm not telling anybody to buy the stock. You do the numbers yourself. Do the due diligence. And then ask yourself, is this thing fairly valued? Because in my mind, not remotely close. Okay? That's it. That's our little demo for the day. I can't wait until these things hit the market, because they are going to be wow. All right. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll talk to you soon.